Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Garance French and this is Garance French Revolution. I'm very 80s coded today. I don't know why. I wanted to wear that. I was like, I have nothing that's like dragon-y. I have this ring, but like, that's it. If I can get some dragon shit while I'm gonna get into Liza Minnelli, it's fine. I love this shirt. I never wear it because it's, well, not a lot of people wear that outside. I look good. Anyway, hi. Today, as it's on the title, we are going to be talking about Damsel. So, Damsel is a fairly new movie. It was released on Netflix earlier in 2024. I don't recall exactly when. But yeah, in early 2024, it was released on Netflix and it's starring none other than Millie Bobby Brown. I watched this movie and I have some thoughts about it, and a lot of people had a lot of thoughts at the time. I'm a bit late, but I don't care. So I'm going to be basically rewriting the movie. If you don't know me, then hi, my name is Garance French. I have another channel if you want to check it out. Talk about it at the end. Oh, is this not straight? Hold up. Yeah, I'll do. So yeah, my name is Garance French, and I'm a screenwriter. I am currently starting my own production company for cinema. I've been to college, I've studied performing arts, and I've written lots of screenplays, and I've won prizes and festivals. I don't want to brag, but I kind of know a little bit about screenplays, right? I've been doing this for a while now, and I saw this movie, and honestly, I liked it more than some people. I think I wasn't. Well, it's a Netflix movie. I wasn't expecting it to be like a piece of art, right? But it really surprised me. It was better than I thought it would be. But a lot of people were disappointed, and after hearing them out, I understood why. And I can also say I liked it more than them, but I'm still not like the biggest fan. So yeah, today I'm going to be sort of rewriting that movie and seeing what would I have done differently as a screenwriter. So of course there will be spoilers, like literally that's the goal of this video. So if you don't want spoilers, then you're at the wrong place, darling. Go watch something else, really. So yeah, I'm going to talk about first like the screenplay as it is, and then what I would have done differently, and what is wrong, what is wrong, what I feel could be done better, what is good already, in my opinion. Just to remember, this is my opinion. I'm not like, I would say I'm not a professional, but I have a bit of experience in it, but it's just my opinion, right? It's not that serious. We're not trashing anyone. We're not trashing the movie. It's just we could improve things, and I'm trying to give my opinion. It's not more serious than that. So basically, well, if you have seen the movie, you're gonna find this part kind of boring, but I'm going to sum up the big beats of like what happens in the movie. So first, we have a flashback of a king riding into a cave where there's a dragon, and they fight the dragon, and the dragon kills the king basically. Then we go to like many years later in a village, and so we see her cutting wood, and like basically we learn that she's the not a princess, but like her father is ruling over a village that is like starving, and like they're poor, they barely have anything to eat. And so someone comes up to the castle where it's not a castle, like to the house where they live, and they're like, yeah, a prince, like our prince want to marry your daughter, which is Millie Bobby Brown, obviously. And like, oh, well, okay, I guess. Like, she doesn't really have a choice, but her father is like, yep, you're going there. So they go to the castle, and it's like very like fancy, golden, and everyone has money, everyone is happy. They meet the royal family, the queen, and the prince. What's the name in the movie? What's the name in the movie? I don't remember the main character's name. Let me search it real quick. Elodie. I remembered it. Elodie. Okay, I didn't even need that. So Elodie. So Elodie and the prince get to know each other. They talk a little bit in the gardens, and they bond a little bit. And he's like, "Yeah, in my family, we have traditions we have to respect. So like, I'm like, you'll see when we're married, but like, we have some traditions thing we have to do." She's like, "Okay, fine, I guess. If you're gonna get me money, I don't care." So they get married, and then as part of those weird ass traditions, they go into a cave. And she's like, okay, like why not? The thing is, this is actually a ceremony where they like not what is the word? They mix their blood, like they both get a cut on their. It really bothers me when people like in the movies they just like sort of cut up with their hands and be like, yeah, just mix it up with someone else. It's like it- this is disgusting. It hurts and tetanus. Like hello. So they mix their blood and they're like, yeah, okay, it's over now. We can go off to our honeymoon. It's like, well, great, I guess. Except he throws her into like the pit. Excuse, excuse me? And in this pit, she's not alone. There's a little dragon, the same dragon we saw at the beginning of the movie. And the dragon, she's like, "Well, I'm gonna eat you, so run, girl," which she does because she's there's a dragon, right? So she finds a hiding place, and then she finds these like blue insecty things at some point, which we will learn later will help her like heal. So she finds that, and then she finds a map that like might lead to the outside, and she sees the names of all the other girls that were sacrificed before her. She's like, "Oh, I might have a chance to escape." So she follows the map, and that leads to a wall that she has to climb, and she does climb the wall. And but then she arrives, and there is indeed light, but the thing is, it's on the side of the mountain, and she like it's very high in the mountain. If she can't get out, it's just sort of a window, right? So she's trapped, and she's well, kind of desperate because she did all this work and hurt herself for nothing. And then her father, who now feels guilty about marrying off his daughter, who he knew was going to be thrown into a pit because he knew, he found out. And so he comes back and he just saves her and he fights the dragon, but he dies. R.I.P. father, who allowed them to throw me into a pit. You will be dearly missed. He tries to help her and she ends up escaping from like the entrance because they came down with a rope, and so she climbs the rope and finds a way out of here. But the thing is, the royal family, they find out about this, and they choose to take her sister instead, mix her blood with the prince, and throw her into the pit as well. And so as she escapes, she finds her stepmother, and her stepmother is like, "They took your sister, girl." She's like, "Ah, shit, I'm gonna have to go back inside." So she goes back inside. I think that's when she cuts her hair and stuff. But the dragon knows that it's her sister and that she's going to come back to save her because she loves her. And so she waits for her. And so basically she fights the dragon, and then she tells her that actually they've been lying to her this whole time, that they were sacrificing girls because the king in the flashback we saw had killed the last dragons like her babies, and so now she's asked for three girls of every generation, three girls of royal blood. And so they just like take some girls, they marry, like they pretend to get married, they mix their blood, and then they put her, like the girls, they put them into the pit so that the dragon will eat them and not actually sacrifice. They don't have to sacrifice their actual family. And so basically they fight and then they talk about this, and she heals the dragon with the blue insects, and then they go off and destroy the kingdom and burn everyone alive. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I was reaching at the end. I was like, "Girlie, stop talking, just go off and burn these bitches." Like, they will not be missed. They will not be missed. Just kill them. And so they do, and I was happy at the end. So yeah, basically that's a very quick like vulgarization of what happens in the movie. There are some things that I like about it. There are some things that I like don't really make sense, or like don't. I'm like, why would you do that? I'm gonna go now over the plot holes a little bit that I've noticed that other people notice as well. First off, why do they have to do this fake ceremony? The curse requires that it's not a curse, but the dragon wants three girls of royal blood from each generation. Okay, so they could, instead of like finding a girl and marrying her and then doing this ritual in the cave, they could just take a random girl, like a servant, something, mix their blood and throw her in the pit, and don't make a whole fuss about like planning a fake wedding and stuff. Like, so like it's a bit weird. Also, another plot thing that I didn't really notice until it was pointed out in the video: the map that she finds in the cave. How was it drawn? Because the girl who found the exit, we see her body at the top of the she climbs the wall, and like the exit, the possible exit, there's her body. That means that she did not make it back to the map. She died there. So how could she have like marked the map? As there might be other explanations. Maybe she wrote the map before climbing the wall. It's not very clear, and it's kind of weird. Also, the stepmother, she just sort of is. First of all, what I liked and what a lot of people liked is that she wasn't like the evil stepmother. And first of all, she was black also, which is like in fantasy movies, it doesn't happen a lot. But yeah, she's black. I mean, she does like try to stop her father when, because she feels like there's something wrong, but she doesn't know. And she does try to stop her father. But then she gets stabbed. When they kidnap the younger sister, she gets stabbed. And she just sort of wanders off into the mountain to tell her. Like, she conveniently meets Elodie in the mountain randomly, even if she's stabbed. And she's like, "Oh, they took your sister. You have to go back." Okay. And then what does she do? And then after we see her at the end on the boat and she's fine, but like Goldie was just wondering, "Oh, I just was stabbed. I'm going to wander in the mountains in hope for my maybe dead stepdaughter." Like, it's, see, like those things are fine, I guess, but when you think about it, it's like, it's kind of weird. Something that pissed me off a little bit is, why don't you tell the dragon earlier that this is all fake, that you're not of royal blood? Like, why did you have to actually fight and hurt the dragon when you could have just yelled to her, even if she would not have believed you? She doesn't at first. Like, yell to her, this is fake, I'm not of royal blood, they do this all the time, right? Like, you didn't have to fight. They wanted to fight, like a fight sequence, obviously, but like for the plot, like just tell her, like, hey, we're not royal blood. And also, how did the dragon know that the girl like was her sister? Like, and why did she know? Like, yeah, they threw her sister in the pit. How did she know it was her sister? And how did she know that Elodie would come back and help her? So that's it for the plot holes that I've noticed. If you've noticed others, please put them down in the comments and let's have fun about it. Here's how I would have rewritten it as a whole. A lot of it is similar, but there are some things here and there that could like sort of not fill the plot holes, but like replace them with actual plot. Basically, I'm going to talk in acts because a screenplay usually has 3 acts. I'm not going to go too much in detail about it because I want this video to be understood by like everyone, even if you don't have knowledge of cinema. So basically, the beginning. I don't want her to be like, she's not rich, but she's like some like noble, like her father is ruling the village and everything. I don't want her to be that. That makes no sense. To me, she's like a poor servant in the kingdom. She's already in the kingdom with the royal family. Oh, my dog are barking. So yeah, she's already in the kingdom with her family. She's just working there like as a servant or something, and she's poor and she has no money. Then she gets told that the prince like saw her and fell in love with her. So she's like, "Oh my god, the prince is rich and I need money. Yes, like marry me." Then we sort of like go back to the movie, like the original movie. So she meets the prince. They get to know. He tells her about, oh, we have traditions and stuff, and they get married, right? And then they do the cave ceremony. So I added like the wedding. Like as I said, they could just like take a random servant, kidnap her and stuff, but it's not as like, we need more story. So I can understand a fake wedding, like make it make sense a little bit more. So yeah, either the prince tells her, like they tell her that the prince saw her and fell in love with her and fake wedding, or what makes more sense to me, like she gets sort of kidnapped, adopted, and they mix her blood with the prince and they throw her in the pit. Like that, like if you want to have a wedding, which I can understand, give it like a sort of love story and how she's betrayed by someone she thought she trusted, that depends on the direction you want to go. So either, yeah, she's a servant, they tell her the prince like her and they get married, or she just gets kidnapped. I would go for this one because it's funnier, and it's funnier. It's not funny, but it's like more surprising. Like you don't know why she's kidnapped, and you don't know what they're gonna do, and you have no idea what's happening. So it might be more interesting, but that depends if you want to include a more like love story side or not. So she gets thrown into the pit. She runs for the dragon, obviously. She finds the hiding place. She finds the blue insects and everything, just as in the movie. And then she does find a map, but it doesn't like say for sure that there's an exit. Like it might be a map that's been drawn by different girls that were there before, but there's no actual like, we don't really know. Like there are some like question marks, like does this really lead outside? Like we don't really know for sure. So that makes it also more interesting, like, oh, if she goes, is it going to work or not? Because in the movie she's pretty sure that there's an exit out there, so she's really motivated, and then she gets disappointed when it's not there. It could be like the same, but like with more question marks. That would make more sense as to like why the girl that died there, she couldn't come back, and so there's like no actual like checkpoint, like yes, this works, this doesn't work, right? So she doesn't know. So she climbs the wall, she goes there, she climbs the wall, and she's trapped. She sees the dead body. She's like, girlie, it's like it doesn't actually work. Her father tries to escape and save her, but this time he's not like, he didn't know. If she's a servant, he didn't know. Like if they get married, it can be like in a movie, but if it's my version of like it's a servant that they kidnapped and throw into the pit, maybe her father like sort of gathered people from the village and said, they kidnapped my daughter, what have they done with her? And he finds that she's been thrown into a pit and goes to save her with the other villagers. That would be nice, and that would make his death more emotional because his daughter was just kidnapped. And like in the movie, he gives her off. He knows that she's going to be killed, and he doesn't really give a fuck until it's too late. It would make his death even more emotional. I finally found you, but now I'm hurt and I'm injured and I'm gonna die, and that's even more emotional. So she escapes, the same as the movie, and her sister does get thrown into a pit, but it would make more sense because then like the king and the queen, they see, oh, like your father, like they see that the villagers try to rebel and help her, so they're like, oh, they left the girls and the wives at home, well, we're gonna kidnap the girl and made her family suffer even more. Like, you don't fuck with me like that, girlie, I'm the queen. So her sister gets thrown into a pit, And Elodie, she does go back home, and she's like, "Oh, I'm back, I'm back. Dad is dead and everything." And like, yeah, but they took your sister. And that would make more sense because even if they did stab the stepmother, like she would be at home and like almost dying on the bed, and that would be normal. She's not like wandering off in the mountain somewhere. So like she's almost dying at home. So Elodie's like, well, they took my sister. Well, I have to go back, right? Because she's my sister, and they knew that he was my sister, and they knew that he would hurt me. It was like a warning for me. So like that also makes it more emotional to be more emotional with the stepmother, because like the stepmother, she got stabbed, and that like we don't really care more than that about it. Like, oh yeah, okay. Like if she's sad and about to die, and we see her father already died, and she's like, "No, I can't lose both my parents, even though you're not my real mom. I love you like my real mom and everything." Right? That would have been much more emotional as well. End of the movie is what I modified the most because a lot of it doesn't make sense to me. So she does go back inside to save her sister, and her sister is running because the dragon, she doesn't know it's her sister, and she doesn't care. She just wants to eat a girl. So her sister gets thrown into the pit, and she's running for her life, just like Elodie in the beginning of the movie. Elodie comes down and she sees the dragon, and the dragon is like, "Girl, is that you again? Like, I thought you escaped. Like, get the fuck out of here, you stupid. I'm gonna eat this other girl. Like, I'm gonna eat you too if you stay here." We're like, "Oh, you stupid." And so basically Elodie tells the dragon, she's like, "Hey, that's my sister right there. They just took, like, I'm not a royal blood, I'm a servant. They've been tricking you this whole time." And maybe of course the dragon, she doesn't listen because, well, she's, enraged that they kill her kids, and it's been happening for years. She doesn't believe her, which makes sense. So they do fight a little bit. We could have a fighting sequence, but that's not as bad. So she tries to tell her, and then they fight, and then she actually like hurts the dragon enough that she can't move or something. And she tells her, she explains the truth. She tells the whole truth, and how they've been tricking her. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that in the version where, like I said, either they get married, it's a servant, they get married and they throw her into the pit, or the servant, they kidnap her. If you want to make it interesting for the wedding part, like maybe the victim has to willingly walk into the cave, not willingly be thrown in the pit because no one wants to do that, but she has to willingly walk into the cave before doing the ritual. So that's why they will need to get married, like to pretend like, "Oh, the prince saw you, fell in love with you, let's get married and let's do this ritual." So she follows him into the cave without worrying. So that would be one reason why we would want to get married. So we can either go with this version of we have to get married, but she's still a servant, or she's been kidnapped and you don't care about this part. Like I really like like in parentheses because it fits with the first version where she gets married to the prince, but it doesn't fit with the second version where she gets kidnapped. But that's, fun stuff. If you want to add some like magical stuff in it, that could be fun. So basically, yeah, she tells the dragon, and they're like, "Oh shit, they've been tricking me," and they go back to the royal family. They throw the royal family into the pit. I love the end where they burn everything down, but instead of burning everything down, they throw them into the pit and they get eaten by the dragon. And I think that's karma. And yeah, basically, maybe they become the new ruler of the city instead of burning everything down and going back to your starving village. Like, I don't know, that's weird. Like, you didn't change nothing for the villagers in your village, so that's weird. Maybe they, like LD and her sister and everything, they become the new leaders of the country, of the kingdom, and they make it fairer for everyone, and they distribute the wealth better and stuff like this. So that was my version of Damsel. Again, I had like two versions in the same version, so I think Netflix is kind of lazy in a way. Like these movies are mostly cash grabs, and like that's alright. You have to watch it knowing that it's a cash grab and it's not going to be a masterpiece. It was still nice. I would maybe watch it again. Maybe, I don't know. But like there's a lot of things you could have done to make it better. Like I came up with this in like 10 minutes. Like and I'm not a professional and I'm not even getting paid, because if you paid me, girlie, I would have come up with this in 5 minutes. That's my version. Tell me in the comments if you have other ideas. In my mind, that makes sense. There might be some plot holes. If you see plot holes in my story, please tell them, and I'll do nothing about it, but please tell them. And yeah, that's my version. Let's make this movie happen. Netflix, call me. I'm available. I'll quit my job. I don't care. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. You can leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I have another channel called Garance French, where it's mostly vlogs, life updates, and a bit of it is in French, so if you're interested in that. And well, yeah, thank you so much, and I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!